Okay, this is a quick tutorial on basically doing some center drilling and drilling in Surfcam Velocity 4. The first thing I'm going to do is change the hole colors of some of these counter bores, the wireframe geometry colors, so that I can select them easily. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my surfaces layer. You'll notice that I already have the part oriented. You'll see that the X and Y is at the center of the part and Z0 is the top of the part. So I'm going to go back to my isometric view. And what I want to do here is I want to change the color of the top of the counterbore wireframe geometry. That's actually rather simple. The first thing you do is you go edit color. Okay, you pick a color from the color palette. I'm going to pick a blue, dark blue here. And all the 1/4 inch counterbores, I'm going to change those to blue. Now the thing that you have to realize is that you don't know what size they are and it's not called out anywhere. So the first thing we're going to have to do, we're going to hit cancel, is figure out what size the counterbores are. So I'm going to go analyze element and I'm going to check each of these, and sure enough that piece of wireframe geometry is a 468 diameter. This one here, oh there's my 1/4, okay, and these here are my 406. Alright, so now that I have some idea what's what, I'm going to start again and go edit color, pick the color, blue, and all my 1/4 inches I want to be blue, so I'm going to make sure multi-select is on. I'm going to come here and select the top of the geometry of the counterbore, the part of the geometry that's at Z0, and I'm going to say done. Okay, if I hit back, I can then choose my next color, and the 406s, I'm going to make them some pink or magenta. So the 406s, I believe, are over here, so I'm going to select that one, that one, that one. Okay, I believe that's the 406ers. And then if I hit back, I can choose another color. On the 468s, I'm going to make this olive color. I believe that's them. I'll hit done. And you'll notice on the screen that those now are different colors. When you're done, just hit cancel. Cancel doesn't cancel the command. It just simply says I'm done changing the colors of some geometry. Okay, now the key reason that I did that is I want to be able to select all the blues at one time, or browns or pinks depending on the operation that I'm doing. So let me demonstrate this. I want to do some center drilling, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say NC 2-axis drill. Okay, NC 2-axis drill from the pull down menu. And it says what do you want to drill, and it only recognizes points or circles for the holes. Well, one thing to note is we have a lot of circles on here and it doesn't differentiate where the circle is, where it's on the top of the part or the bottom of the part. So with a new tool called our mask, if you click mask, you'll notice that we have this great tool that we can say only pick geometry that's certain colors. So here's how I do it. I say don't select any colors but, and pick the colors that you want it to grab by simply picking the arrow, the cursor, clicking there, and notice that the check boxes are starting to show up of the different colors that I want. And I'm going to say OK to this. And now when I say NC 2-axis drill and this menu comes up, I can say, hey, all visible colors. And I can say done. Alright. And now only those holes were chosen, you can see. And now I go in and pick my tool. Here I'm going to pick a center drill. Okay. I'm going to pick a number 3 center drill. So you have to come in here and look at the drill tool table. And sure enough, there's a number 3 center drill there. Now you have to understand what number you want that tool to be when you're working with this. So I say OK, and it's kind of handy. It gives you a preview of what a center drill is. And I'm going to make this my first tool, tool 1, my length offset 1, and my work offset 54. Okay. Be careful here. Notice that the spindle RPM it'll give you sometimes exceeds your machine. So you'll have to go in and put appropriate values for your machine right there. We'll go in here. We're going to look at the tool material is high-speed steel. We're drilling aluminum. We're going to change that material to a steel of some sort. We'll look through here. We'll go to a I don't know, low carbon steel Rockwell 30 to 40C, something like that. and we'll say OK. I'll get much more reasonable RPMs at this point. Next thing I'm going to do is go to cycle control. This is where I control my rapid plane, my plunge clearance, the type of drilling cycle, and the actual center drill diameter. And the defaults here are pretty well. It doesn't drill too deep with a center drill. By the default, it goes about 2/3 of the way up the flute, which is what you want. If you want to peck the center drill, you can choose peck instead of center drill. It's whichever you want to do. And you say OK. And now Surfcam has put that toolpath in there. That's a real quick overview of how to create toolpaths, drilling toolpaths in Surfcam.